So, in our chapter on Indo-Pak relations, now I would like to discuss about the Tashkent Agreement. After the 1965 war, under pressure from the United Nations Security Council and the superpowers, both India and Pakistan agreed to stop the war or agree for a ceasefire on 22nd of September 1965. So, war started from 6th September officially to 65, even though Pakistani action started from 5th of August when they started sending their infiltrators to Indian side. So, let us now, what was the, after the the ceasefire, talks were held under the mediation of Soviet Union, and it ultimately led to the Tashkent Agreement. Tashkent Agreement. Tashkent in Uzbekistan, in Soviet Union at that time. So, that is how this agreement. So, this agreement or Tashkent Declaration was on 10th of January 1966. So, the war ended in September 22nd, 23rd September. The resolution was passed on 22nd of September. So, 23rd we can say the war ended. So, on 10th of, then negotiations took place in Tashkent. The discussion started on 4th of January. It started from 4th January. Both the leaders, both the Indian leader, Prime Minister Lal Bahadur Shastri, and the Pakistan's leader at that time, the Pakistani leader Ayub Khan, General Ayub Khan, General Ayub Khan, Lal Bahadur Shastri, and the Soviet Union's premier at that time, Alexei Kosygin. Alexei Kosygin. He mediated, moderated, and the conference, ultimately the Tashkent conference was considered to be a great success in the Cold War era. Just imagine the peak of the Cold War. This is just after the missile crisis, the Cuban Missile Crisis. So, Soviet Union took the lead, and it was a great success. We could sign an agreement for a lasting peace. Definitely we can say it as a great achievement. So, both agreed. Now, so before the Tashkent Agreement, or before when Shastri, Prime Minister Shastri went to Tashkent, he even told the press that some of the areas which we captured, we will not give back, especially the Haji Pir Pass and all, the Haji Pir Pass in Jammu and Kashmir, or along the line of control, which very strategic passes we captured. So, we were very clear that we don't want to give up on that, and Prime Minister Shastri, contrary to his image, he was very tough. He was not going to give up. So, he said it very clearly, certain things are non-negotiable. Some of the captured areas we are not going to give back. That was the impression Prime Minister Shastri gave before he went for the talks. But during the talks, under intense pressure from Soviet Union, in any third party mediation, this is a problem. We have learned what are the problems of third party mediation. Intense pressure, and finally the first thing we agreed, both India and Pakistan agreed to pull back to their pre-conflict positions. To pull back to their pre-conflict positions, or pre-August lines, not later than 25th of February. By 25th of February 1966, both the sides agreed to go back to the pre-conflict position. That means whatever India claimed or Indian leader wanted, we could not get anything. In the talks, we were forced to give up all our advantages we got during the war. So, we agreed to pull back. That is number one. And number two, both sides agreed not to interfere in each other's internal affairs. Not to interfere in each other's internal affairs. So, both agreed that we will not in future, we will not, but Pakistan is doing every now and then, we know it very well. Then we will restart the economic and diplomatic relations, restore economic and diplomatic relations. Restore economic and diplomatic relations. Number 4, orderly transfer of the prisoners of war. Prisoners of war will be transferred with dignity, and also both leaders agreed to work towards building good relations in future, agreed to work for good relations, agreed to work for good relations in future. And so that is how the Tashkent Declaration came. It was intense pressure on Indian leader because we went with something different in mind, but we had to give away all the advantages. So it was maybe because of that pressure. On the same night after signing the agreement, Lal Bahadur Shastri died of a massive heart attack in Tashkent itself. Even though many people talk about many conspiracy theories, I don't think there is any truth in all those things. We have outrightly rejected all these theories. There is no conspiracy in that, but the conspiracy mongers can come out with many ideas, but the reality is he died of a massive heart attack in Tashkent on 10th of January 1966. It was a big loss for us. But maybe because of the intense pressure under which he had to work that 4 days of negotiation, because he went to Tashkent with something else in mind. So we had to, so first of all, we were compelled. See, what are the lessons we learned? Lessons we learned. Number 1, any third party mediation, can be detrimental to our national interest. That is why in Shimla agreement we said no third party mediation, we don't want anybody. We will talk directly. We even forced Pakistan to agree that any future dispute will be resolved bilaterally, no third party mediation. Third party mediation can be disastrous, and we were forced to give up our conquered regions in Pakistan, and it would have been a great advantage for us today, but we gave up under pressure. So the second we were forced to give up our advantages after the war. So whatever we fought, whatever we gained, we gave up under pressure from them. And another criticism in India was that this Tashkent agreement, we expected there should be a no war pact. Many wanted a no war pact with Pakistan, because Pakistan was a clear aggressor here. 1948 also Pakistan was the aggressor. 1965 Pakistan was the aggressor. They initiated the war, they precipitated the war. So we wanted a written commitment from Pakistan that they will not do it again. They will not precipitate the matter. So we could not get that. Many wanted a no war pact with Pakistan, but that was not materialized. That was not materialized. Because when Prime Minister Shastri went for the talks, there were serious talks about this, that we should insist on a no war pact, but unfortunately we could not get that. So, we, despite the fact that the talks were, we did not achieve everything what we wanted, we can say Tashkent, conference was a success. It talked about further improving the relationship between the, both the countries, to restore diplomatic relations between the countries, economic and political diplomatic relations we wanted to start. So that way we could restore some sort of normalcy. India was on the verge of defeating Pakistan in that war 1965, but Tashkent Declaration also taught us a big lesson that third party mediation will not be beneficial. The third party will take advantage of the situation. Many a times, we may not be able to outrightly reject the suggestion given by the mediator. We could not refuse. We agreed to give up the advantages we got in 1965 war, and that is how Tashkent, Declaration or Tashkent Agreement ended. But the lesson is there should not be any third party mediation. That is why in the 1971 war, we insisted on bilaterally solving the dispute between India and Pakistan, and that is how Shimla Agreement came. I will talk about Shimla Agreement separately, but this is the net result of Tashkent Declaration.